Hi, folks. Welcome to another episode of Film Study. This is Ken McCusick. We're here for this week's matchups episode with co-host Fraser Tafar. Fraser, how you doing?
Doing good, Ken. Going to be at the game this weekend in Arizona. Just excited to see what product we put on the field this week and looking into these matchups.
Yeah, now we're talking here. Always great to go to road games. You go ahead and represent for us here. Don't think there's going to be a really rabid Cardinals fan base there, I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, they have their spirit out here, but it's nothing like Baltimore.
Yeah. I went to a game in 2003 there in the old stadium, and there was literally nobody there. The attendance was like 15,000. And
my God.
They had an overhead shot of the game with this, pathetic looking midfield only crowd. It's not, there weren't even ushers. Nobody was guarding seats or anything. And they, I think it was Stuart Scott was on the air at that time. He said, just want to let you know, citizens of Arizona, this game was open to the general public. So it was a pretty beefy hit there. All right, well, let's talk matchups here for this week. So start us off on whatever side of the ball you like, and I'll follow up with mine on that same side.
Yeah, sure. So I think the matchup I'm looking for on offense is, can the Ravens take advantage of a weak Arizona rush defense, 25th ranked in the league? We had a solid game up front last week, as that was the matchup I was looking for, but I'm looking for our run schemes to come to some more fruition. I think this is an opportunity for our run game to have a get right game. So it's crucial that we have more iterations, such as the GT counter that we run, seeing what other wrinkles we can put in there. We had the RPO last week, but what other things can Monken innovatively do with the run game that Greg Roman couldn't?
Yeah, so I don't. One of the things that's come out about last week's game is the 80-yard pass to Edwards was actually a designed run left, which I guess, in retrospect now, you can kind of see that there's an attempt to naked boot left where the door appears to be shut, meaning the attention is on Jackson there, and he immediately reverses to his right. The player who really made the play there is Edwards more than anyone, because he doesn't even look back to the quarterback. He just sees defenders in front of him, decides he's going to get behind him. And I think he probably can tell from what the defenders are doing that the play was busted behind him. But he doesn't look back for the ball until he's ready to catch it and he's behind the defenders. And just a great, situational unawareness play by Edwards there to get behind the defenders on those plays, I thought. And great that Jackson was able to get him the football.
The unfortunate part about that play is Fox cut out the broadcast for out-of-market non-Baltimore or non-Detroit games. So, I didn't get to see that play live. So,
oh, no.
I know. Unfortunately, I missed it. But just to see how in sync Gus and Lamar were on that play, I mean, he was just a second later turning around, he probably would have just got hit in the back of the head with the ball. So, for them to be able to make that play, I think it's elite. I mean, you don't know what else to say about it, but elite.
Huge trust win for Edwards. In fact, just knowing that was the way that play developed, I think, in theory, what I would offer for Henry is a little bit less, because Henry is going to take touches away from Edwards.
And this crowd saying that they want to trade Edwards for Henry and a pick, I think is
there are people who, I mean, if you want to trade Edwards for Henry and, a seventh or something like that, maybe. If you're going to lose those carries anyway for Edwards, you may as well, give up the salary that goes with it. And maybe you can even sweeten that up a little bit. But, I think I don't want to engage in a trade where the Ravens are effectively selling a draft pick by taking a positive cap situation, by having Tennessee take some of that over and selling, the difference between a fourth and a fifth round pick, say, to acquire Henry.
What's left on his contract, Henry?
About $6 million this year.
Just 1 year?
Oh yeah, it's only this year. He's free agent at the end of the year. Yeah, that's everybody pretty much who's getting traded right now is a rental. There are a couple guys who are maybe have one more year under contract, but they're usually underperforming for some reason, so they're damaged goods. It's the guys who are any value are playing for a bad team in the final year of their contract, and they're looking to get whatever they can for them.
Yeah, I think just kind of off topic here, I'd rather focus on trying to get an edge rusher rather than a running back. I think the offensive side of the ball, if we were to trade for anybody, it would probably be a left guard, in my opinion, or offensive line help. There's no need to add to the running back room in the sense of we already have our guys that can make the plays that we need that are already in tune to the offense. Bringing a external guy, I don't think would do any more better for the offense.
I mean, I basically agree with you. Henry would be a case where I'd be willing to part with a 2025 draft pick because it's after the Ravens will get perhaps a slew of compensatory picks this next time around. But I'm not. I don't want to trade 2024 draft capital. The position where I would put at a lower premium than anything is edge. I think it'll be more expensive than many others. I think you can get elder statesman edge, and they can still provide value as they did from Van Noy and Clowney this year, very cheap. And also, I really believe Odafe Owe. I'm very bullish on the rest of the season. I'm actually really bothered that he's got a different type of injury this week, but I'm very bullish on his prospects the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think Odafe looks dominant when he's out there and 100% healthy, and it's just unfortunate that he's getting these nicks at like inconvenient times. I'm hoping down the stretch, especially after the bye, he can get healthy, and then eventually when we get Ojabo, we have a solid rotation of pure rush fast guys coming off the edge.
Yeah, that put him back in a position to take some defensive line snaps off the board too, which is important, I think. They don't want to work that defensive line as hard as they're doing right now with 2 snaps on every passing down. If they can cut it to 1 and make it just Matabike, maybe get Matabike off the field on some early downs, I think you're back to a reasonable thing. But they're really overworking Matabike at this point. He's played 67% of the snaps. So
he's producing.
Yeah, he's nice. Producing, but the trend has always been later in the season and in games where he plays more snaps that he's not as good.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get back to matchups here. I'll give you mine on offense since you did yours. I think it's Lamar Jackson versus the Arizona safeties and making sure that he avoids putting the football in jeopardy. So it's not a whole lot of ways you lose a game to Arizona. But the way you do it is you have some turnovers and you have some high leverage plays. The Ravens want to spread out their advantage in this game over all the plays that they possibly can and win as many plays as they can on basically as close to an equal basis as is possible. Now, you're always going to have high leverage games and high leverage plays in any game, but you basically want to play small pot poker, avoid 4th and 2 situations where there's a big, deviation in the expected points in the outcome, even if you have a small advantage on that. So it's something to avoid. I mean, I know that blackjack players, for example, always look at how to balance expected value versus variance. So if you're a card counter at all, you have an advantage over the house. And you'll be able to press that, and you deal with countermeasures and you deal with the heat from the pit. But basically, you have an advantage on the house over the hours you play, and your enemy is variance. You have to find a way to do that. That's what the Ravens need to do today.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is if Monken can continue to call pass concepts that have our wide receivers running butt naked wide open across the middle or wherever across the field, I think that can alleviate some of the high leverage situations that we're trying to stay away from, in the sense of, I don't think Lamar is going to have a game where he's going to be forced to push the ball downfield. I think it's going to be more so they're going to scheme it up, and probably within the first 2 drives, whatever they have planned up for this week on their script, I think those are probably going to be the only plays that we have that are shots. Like you said, there's no way you can get beat by Arizona, so we're just going to have to make sure we don't lose. So we're going to have those schemed deep shots in the beginning of the game, but I think we're just going to kind of not go vanilla, but be more quote unquote conservative with play calling.
Let me be maybe a little bit clear about that.
With the busy fall season already in swing, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Guys, I've shared moving. I was using this for all my meals. Now I'm working from home. Guess what? Microwaves in the other room. I'm using this for all my meals. Factor is how I get through my lunch day every day. But they've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I haven't tried the breakfast ones yet, but why not? I think I might add that to my next order. But I love them for lunch. Plus, they've got new autumn fall flavors out right now for limited time, featuring seasonal veggies like cranberry, pecan chicken, and apple Dijon pork chops. And again, just like everything else, they're ready in just 2 minutes. They'll satisfy your fall cravings during this busy season without the hassle. So go ahead and level up with Gourmet Plus options as well, prepared to perfection by chefs and ready to eat in record time. Treat yourself to upscale meals with premium ingredients like broccoli, leeks, truffle butter, and asparagus. Head to factormeals.com/Ravens50 and use the code Ravens50 to get 50% off. That's code Ravens50 at factormeals.com/Ravens50 to get 50% off your Factor meal today. Aaron Rodgers' season is officially over, but yours has just begun at MyBookie. NFL, college ball, and a brand new cash-out system gives you options to bet and win all season long. First 2 legs of your parlay hit, cash out early and place another bet, or let it ride for a chance at an even bigger payday. Join us at MyBookie for an entire season filled with daily odd boost, same-game parlays, and huge prize pool contests. Right now, MyBookie has a no-strings-attached cash bonus that lets you deposit and withdraw quick. Use the promo code RAVENS on your first deposit of $50 or more, and you can receive up to $200 in cash instantly credited to your MyBookie account. That's promo code RAVENS to claim your cash bonus now. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
This because shots, they're fine. They're usually not big changes in expected value in terms of the negative side. You can get intercepted on a long pass. There's no doubt about it. But you most likely you're talking about incomplete versus a big gain. Those are fine. It's the ones where it's a 1 or 0 outcome on 4th down that I really dislike, or a risky contested catch situation where you are taking a chance on an interception. And obviously anything where you fumble and you put the ball on the ground and there's a chance it gets recovered by you or them. And either way, just don't put the ball on the ground is the easy answer on that. But hard to do, easy to say what it is. But anyway, I think we're in the same boat there. Let's flip over the defensive side. What do you think? What do you see as the big matchup there?
Big matchup for me is making sure our defensive line can continue their dominance this season against the very weak offensive line of Arizona. They have Tristan Colon Castillo playing left guard, right?
I know he was playing to start some point. I know your Phil guest told us about that.
So I think that should tell you a lot about what their offensive line situation is. I think this is going to be a big game for Michael Pierce. I'm looking for Travis Jones to kind of have a coming out party this week. Matabike is going to continue his dominance week in and week out. But just to build on the momentum we had all year and show that it's not a fluke, that when we're faced with a bad offensive line, we're going to make them pay. We're going to show it. And kind of looking back this summer against the Commanders, I didn't go to the practices, but buzz was around that our defense was not letting the Commanders run plays because we were just getting in the backfield consistently. I kind of anticipate that happening this game because just based on where Arizona is as a team and their offensive line play, I think we can just destroy the game up front.
It is a truly awful defensive line. There's not one standout player in the group. Their best offensive lineman might be Will Hernandez, the ex-Giant, but it definitely is not a quality group at all. And I was listening to our friend Bo Brack, describe each of the linemen, and his description of them does not at all match what the PFF scores are like. The PFF scores are terrible for these linemen across the board. So, it'll be interesting to see. And I agree. I think Travis Jones, in terms of a coming out party, would be good. He kind of had that already this last week with 4 pressures and a really nice swim move to stop a run for -1 or for 0. Sorry, on 3rd and 1. that was really well done. This could be a big game for him, and this is a good game for him with a soft interior line for them to line up 1-3 with Pierce and Jones a fair amount and try and beat the crap out of that offensive line. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll give you another. I think that this is a game where the inside linebackers need to facilitate the defense, generally speaking. Now, the safeties have done a great job playing cover 2. They've made the jobs for corners easier, but a lot of that has been because the inside linebackers have filled us appropriately so they can stop the run out of nickel. They can stop the run with 6 in the box pretty much at will. They've been able to make contributions in the passing game, whether that means diagnosis or even doing things between level 2 and level 3, having understanding what's going on behind them in terms of route concepts. So that needs to continue another week here. It's good to see Roquan's healthy. Even if his shoulder is not perfect, he still should be good in terms of diagnosis of the pass. So hopefully that's an area where he isn't down a week here. But that group is clearly very special. It's going to hurt to lose Queen next year. Yep. In terms of what's going on. And, you just hope the Ravens are able to do things like they did in 2018 and rebuild a defense with a absolutely top-notch platoon, replacing a great player.
Yeah, and I think something we definitely need to look for going against a team like Arizona, they quote-unquote have nothing to lose. So we might see a lot of trick plays, just pulling bags, rabbit out of the bag. I mean, it's going to be a lot of different things coming our way. So it's going to be crucial for Roquan and PQ to stay disciplined with their eyes. And they have been so good this year up to this point that we don't want them to be overconfident in their read, I would say, because that situation might hurt them in a trick play. Just thinking that it's one thing and it's not, and now they're retreating and trying to recover. I think Roquan is someone that is less susceptible to that because I think he does more due diligence before he runs and makes a play. I think Queen is more of a see ball, get ball guy. So if anything, Queen is going to be the one that has an issue with those trick plays and things of that nature. But their second level coverage has been dominant all year. Like I mentioned in a previous podcast, the only game I can remember that they got exposed was going against Houston with Nico Collins going over the middle. Mm-hmm. That was the only thing that really stood out to me. And then again, Cincinnati had a couple plays where they had Higgins or Boyd going over the middle. But other than that, it has been stout with this cover 2 defense and our linebackers covering the second level.
Looking forward to seeing how aggressively Arizona plays this game on 4th down in particular. Are they going to come out 4th and 1, 4th and 2 in their own end? When analytics would tell you go for it, it's a slight positive gain with a big variance in terms of what you do. I think Arizona, frankly, would be doing the Ravens a favor if they just punt on those downs. So the Ravens do not want big expected value swings in play during this game, and that includes their offense, but it also includes Arizona's offense when they're on the field. And in a sense, it's always important that you play well on 4th down. Period. Yep. Those plays have higher leverage involved, but this is a game where if you're going to find a way to lose it, you're probably going to find a way to lose it on a small set of high leverage plays which go against you.
I know the Ravens' culture and mindset on defense is don't let the offense score, but I think this week they're going to actually take it to heart. I think they have an opportunity to really shut this team out, and especially going against a team like Detroit, mm-hmm. and they pretty much made them look like Detroit, So I'm excited for the defense to see how dominant they come out, especially in the first quarter, just to set the tone and show them that you can't handle our speed. And if you try, you're going to get beat every single time.
It'd be interesting. It'd be. I would love to see a shutout. I would love to see even a lopsided game of any sort would be fantastic. And in fact, a 21-14 win would be fantastic too. The key thing here is not to lose a game that they really, really need to win in terms of ease the rest of the season. To me.
Yeah, especially with Pittsburgh right up on our heels, I think that loss it's really going to hurt in the long run.
It could if they don't win in Baltimore. That's certainly possible. I'm kind of bullish on how the Ravens look against the divisional foes now with 3 games still left, all in Baltimore.
Yeah, it would have been great if we would have got 3 straight wins against 3 straight road games in the division. That would have been dream start to the season, but it's all good. I think we can build off this, and that loss only made us stronger, obviously, because we've been looking good on offense.
All right, outstanding. Frazier, always fun doing this show with you. Tell folks where they can talk football with you online.
You guys can find me at Twitter/X at F_Rave8. That's F_RAVE8.
All right, outstanding. Other folks out there, if you'd like to be on a Film Study short, hit me up with a DM. They're always open on Twitter. You know the drill by now. Looking for short topics is really the key. Kind of keep yourself in a silo in terms of discussing something that's small. We can get it done in 15, 20 minutes because that's the idea, is that we're creating a short topic that's makes it less intimidating to start that podcast for the first time for a new listener. Frazier, thanks again for doing this show with me. And for Frazier Shafar, this is Ken McCusick saying goodbye, and we'll talk to you next week on Matchups.